Hey, hi. Me trying to distract you from the fact that I haven't posted it in months. So let me address this real quick. I thought about quitting this channel, to be quite honest. I was kind of overwhelmed. Like, I wanted to focus on my main channel, and I realized that I clearly have a very strong accent, so I thought people wouldn't even understand me when I talk. But I didn't delete any of the videos, and recently I thought, you know what, I kind of want to come back, so here we are. So I probably won't post weekly though, because again it was kind of overwhelming for me. However, I encourage you to comment down below some of your ideas, things you want me to talk about, things you want me to react to, whatever it is. I think it will be easier for me if I know what you want to see. Excuse my accent again, you know I'm Spanish, and that's why today, good segue, we're reacting to Jubilee Odd One Out, I think it's called. Funny enough, I wanted to react to this video that it's like 6 Latinos and 1 is fake from 3 or 4 years ago, and I just saw there's one from 10 days ago, so I feel like this is fake. This was meant to be for me to react to this video. So if you don't know, I'm from Spain. I'm in Spain right now. I've always lived here, and I was thinking it would be really smart of them to put a Spanish person, because we speak Spanish fluently. Obviously, we're Hispanic. If you don't know the difference between Latino, Spanish, Hispanic, I think it's my first video or second maybe, because of that, and because in some places in Spain, especially from the south, we have an accent that is kind of similar to some Latino accent. By the way, very funny when people say Latino accent, just like one, like it's not 1,000 countries there. I think it would be kind of smart, because it will be difficult to differentiate. However, I'm gonna call it right now. I think it's going to be somewhat like a bit tricky, like Jubilee sometimes does this. If you watch Código, you have watched every Jubilee video ever, and so have I. Like, I'm going to guess that it's going to be something like, I'm not Latino because I was born, whatever the case, but my mom is. And it's like, so you are kind of, you were half raised Latino, your mother's mother tongue is Latino, and your ethnicity is half Latino. That's what I think is going to happen. I don't know. Let's watch it and find out. So if you don't know, I thought they were going to explain the game. Apparently not. It's basically, I think it's self-explanatory, but it's basically like they try to convince the others that they're all Latinos, and they then vote. There's like different sections, I guess you could say. Like, they keep eliminating people until they decide that the mole is out.
Carla Alicia, y hoy estamos representando Panama. I'm a behavioral technician full-time, and I'm also a part-time student.
I'm Dominique. I'm from Argentina. I came over to the United States to study, and I'm a student right now.
Yo me llamo Andy de Lourdes. Soy dominicana y soy productora.
My name is Emilio. I'm Mexican, and I'm currently in grad school.
I'm Teuta Brasileira, which means I'm Brazilian with German ancestry.
I was gonna say that. I was thinking that in Brazil they're Latinos, but then they don't speak Spanish. So this is going to be interesting, because I don't know what is going to be the criteria to vote people out, or even if I try to convince people I'm from, I don't know, Argentina, I guess it's the closest accent to us, or maybe Colombia or something like that. If I try, oh, Chile, I don't know, if I try like to convince people that I'm Latina, it's like, besides talking in Spanish, which I could have learned, it's like I don't really, because they're not from the same country. It's not like, okay, we're all Mexicans, so let's talk about Mexican culture or whatever. I think they're literally all from different countries, so it's like, aside from speaking Spanish, which this girl doesn't even speak Spanish because she's Brazilian, I don't really know what's going to be. Sometimes this happens with Jubilee. It's like, what's it? I don't understand.
I'm originally from Sao Paulo, but I'm living in the US since I was about 6, and I'm a fact checker.
I am Eduardo Josue Morales Alvarez. I'm from Honduras. I work construction, and I'm currently studying HVAC.
Oi, eu sou a Paulina Rezende, eu também sou do Brasil. Eu sou uma estudante, agora Cal State Northridge for Business Law, e faz, I'm gonna say it in English because like you guys are not understanding what I'm saying.
Yeah, I did it. I really did. I kind of low-key, but not
I
really.
moved when I was 11 to the US.
Okay.
I could tell you were Brazilian.
That's other thing, that most of these people move to the USA very soon in their life, very early. So I'm really curious to see what's going to be the criteria.
Your flip-flops.
Stop. No, actually,
I saw
stop.
you
When
and
you
I was
walked
like,
in
I
in the
bet she's
Brazil shirt.
Brazilian.
Flip-flops are not Brazilian.
I immediately thought Elise was Brazilian.
Honestly, I wouldn't go with a specific t-shirt that says Brazil. Like if I wore a t-shirt that says Spain, it's like I'm Spanish, believe me, it's like...
Okay.
I was born in Brazil.
Oh, really?
I was born in New York.
I was born in the Bay Area, but I did live in Mexico growing up.
What part of Mexico?
Mexico City,
What part of Mexico?
Iztapalapa.
I lived in Argentina my whole life.
Wait, did you say a little Spanish in the beginning or no?
No, pero
Can you
puedo
say
hablar en
something?
castellano. Sí. Tengo acento argentino.
I think I'm gonna guess the girl with the Brazil.
Morcilla.
Mm-hmm.
The blood sausages. People here hate it, but they're really good.
A drink that I really like is called chicheme, which is kind of like horchata. We eat empanadas, which is basically like a beef patty. That and then arroz con gandules, that's rice and beans, stuff like
So it's
that.
like they're not like they probably have some similar dishes, but not really.
Mostly. My
So
mom
it's
makes
like-
some frijoladas, if you don't know
This
them.
is just
Frijoladas
talking.
is like enchiladas, pero con frijoles, you know?
Stroganoff is like stroganoff. You have like beef with like a cream sauce and it's really good, so good. But with like fried potatoes and rice.
And it would be interesting if the girl, what was it, Paulina, was the non-Latina one, because they're two people from Brazil. Like if one is from Mexico and the other is from Argentina, they might not know some things. Like if they talk about like they're saying dishes, it's like
Brigadeiro and things like that, but that's also very like surface knowledge and things that probably a tourist or a foreigner would try.
see, this is what I'm talking about. She has more information on that country. That if you tell me something like, oh, the European out or something like that, and I'm there and someone is from Germany, I'm not going to know everything that they're saying. So it's like, what's the point?
What do you guys think is like a struggle being Latino? I feel like literally nobody believes me that I'm Latina. I don't look the
Oh, I didn't.
stereotypical version
Sorry.
of Latina. Here, everyone's like, you're not Latina. Like, but you were born here, right? I'm like, no, I was born in Brazil. Like, I used to have a really thick accent. Like, I lost it because I've been living here for 10 years. But I always have to prove it, and I feel like it's like kind of discrediting me as a Brazilian Latina.
Paulina walked in and she has this Brazilian shirt, so I think that she might.
See, that's like, why would you do that? Like now I'm believing that she's not, because that wouldn't be a smart move. Like why would you just show up with a teacher from your country?
And it's just like, oh, are you Mexican? Oh, did you learn it in school? And I feel like one thing that I really struggle with is proving myself as a Latina. And then on the counter end of that, you see people that are like Afro-Latina and they'll be like, oh, I'm not black. But the reason why they say that is because for most part, when people refer to you as being black, they refer to it as being African American.
And we're also taught that black is bad. So a lot of people rather deny the Afro-Latinidad. A lot of the stuff that I do, I represent a lot of black and brown content.
This is interesting because I was thinking like some of them are white, are Caucasian, but obviously people from Argentina tend to be Caucasian. I feel like if I say I'm Hispanic without specifying, even if I say I'm Spanish, I feel like many people will think I'm Mexican first of all, which okay, I guess there are Caucasian Mexican, but not the usual. But also I think if I were to say I'm European, which I wouldn't say to be quite honest, but I could say I am European, I feel like people will think I'm Italian or French or something like that. And it's like, it's literally Spain, Spanish, it's like so correlated, but I think it's not really in people's minds the same way. This is what they're talking about. Because I'm white, if I say I'm Hispanic, I feel like people wouldn't really believe it or think that I'm not white, that I just look white, that I pass for white or something like that. Just like they're saying the other way around, that if this girl was saying that she's half black and so it's like she's also not Latina. I feel like given that there are so many Latino countries, it's funny that we have so many misconceptions about them.
I'm a producer, so I make a lot of, to me, my work is to show that we do speak Spanish,
Yes.
that we do exist.
Most people, especially Americans, see Latinos as just like mixed brown,
Literally
medium
yeah.
skin. So to be black or white and be a Latino is just like, people are like, oh, what?
For me, my struggle with being Latino is like checking off the box on like any kind of document that you sign or like.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like it kind of erases.
That was interesting too because I thought of, sorry I'm pausing so much, but I thought about this the other day. I was feeling like a resume thing, like for a job, and the options were Caucasian and Hispanic, and I was like, I'm both, and I think they don't understand. I put Caucasian because I think they don't understand that could happen. Like these two girls, like there's two girls here that would say they're Caucasian but they're Hispanic, and they would also say Latino, like the Argentina girl. She will say she's Caucasian, she's Hispanic, and she's Latina, and those tend to be three different options when it comes to a form or something like that. And it's like, girl, can you learn a little bit because we're talking company, like this is a informal form.
I feel like people get really passionate about Santos Dumont, which he was actually the first person to fly an airplane. If you think it was the Wright brothers or something, that's not true. Santos Dumont, he was the first person to do it like on video with actual proof, and the Wright brothers were just like hearsay basically, but you know, that's what the whole world learns, especially Americans. I think that's the one thing that Brazilians are very passionate about.
I think for us in Mexico, it's
See, this is why inclusivity is important. Like when in shows and stuff like that, everyone is white, and if it's like American shows, like everyone is from the United States and things like that, it's like you're not getting any new information really, and that happens in Spain a lot. Like you can watch, I feel like in the USA, because there are a lot of, I think it's because it's recent, if you could say, like it's a recent country. I feel like there's a lot of different cultures and ethnicities. Here in Spain, I would say that most of us are white, although I say there's a lot of Chinese people and Muslims. However, when you watch TV shows and things like that, 95% of people are white, and it's like you're not getting any diversity in this sense. Like people that are saying this is not true, history was taught this way, but we're learning in a different way. I don't know, I think that's so important, and I feel like many people don't even have it in their minds. They're gonna vote Paulina, I'm gonna guess. Yes. Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, Eduardo, right away, because how you got...
I feel like he was kind of flying under the radar, and I was like,
Hold on.
I am Eduardo. I had to deal with that my whole life. I cannot roll my R's. I'm pretty weird about that. So I try to...
That's not really weird. Like I know many people that can pronounce their R's. Oh my god, if they told me to dance flamenco, they will think I'm not Spanish. I cannot dance Spanish things.
Dominicans and Haitians don't get along as much as we share a country, as much as we share an island.
The thing about Argentina, I think we're all very passionate people, but to a fault. Because like we always want the extremes. So for example, for political matters, it's really, really bad. Because if the president or anyone does one thing wrong, immediately the whole country hates them.
Colorism, classism, because in Mexico, it's not necessarily racism. It's more like what you say, it's like colorism. Kind of like discrimination against indigenous people by like white passing people like myself.
Yeah.
I'll answer this question about Spain. I don't think it's the worst. Maybe it is. There is, for some reason that I don't really get, like kind of, but not really. There's such a, I don't want to say competition, but because I don't think it's that word exactly, but there's something between the north and the south. Like I feel like the north, some countries in the north of Spain are like not nationalist, which I don't criticize because I'm not really, I'm from the south, but I'm not really that, but like they really are not. I think there is some weird racism because we're all Spanish and we're all white, so it's not like that kind of racism. But there are some countries, I also have a video explaining this, there are some countries that have a different language, that they speak Spanish as well, but I'm not sure if it's their first language or Spanish is their first language. I think this is the case, and they have like a second language, but they try to maintain it because it's like theirs. You know what I mean? And so, and I think that's great, but other people don't think it is. Nationalist people think they should all just speak Spanish and that's it. And so there's some kind of rivalry, I would say. I said it, the words rivalry. I don't know how to say it, but you know what I mean. So there's this kind of thing between the north and maybe the center and the south, and it's so weird because it doesn't make much sense, but there's like a lot to unpack there. If you want me to do a video about it, I do it, because it's like there's actual conflict. Like there are not wars per se, but there are conflict. They eliminated the other Brazilian girl and not the one with the t-shirt.
Like Spain Spanish, like puedo hacer un poquito de.
That's not Spanish. That's literally Argentine. I can't believe she's still there. They eliminated the Argentine girl.
The lights turn green. That means you have voted out the mole and you win.